Just having a few drinks to celebrate my daughter Hillary's birthday. Give me 5 minutes to get rid of these people, then we can talk.
Of course.
Come along in and meet my wife. Louisa, my dear, I've another guest for you. This is Mr. I forgot to ask your name.
Hammond.
Mr. Hammond. He's come to see me on business, all the way from London.
There's a police inspector at the door, sir. He wants to speak to you.
At the door. All right, I'll deal with it. Take him in, my dear, will you please?
Come and meet my daughters. This is Patricia. Mrs. Bailey, Mrs. Huntley. Oh, Hilary, my dear, this is Mr.
Hammond.
Mr. Hammond. He's just arrived from London.
How do you do, Mr. Hammond? Forgive the orgy. We've all been to church and the sermon lasted 3/4 of an hour. Well, this is Captain and Mrs. Ogilvy. Have a drink, Mr. Hammond?
Thank you.
This is Derek Stewart. And this is Sheriff Watson. You've got to be polite to him.
He's our sheriff substitute. Scotch for local beef.
Give you 6 months hard as soon as look at you. Remember the time when my car ran into those sheets?
It's all right. Don't worry. I've sent them away. Come and look at the view from this window, Mr. Hammond. We're rather proud of it.
By the way, Sheriff, when are you going to catch that murderer?
Murderer? What murderer?
My dear, haven't you heard? Why, the man that stuck a carving knife into that woman in Portland Place last week. He's here in the district.
Darling, how exciting. Where?
Oh, somewhere about. He's been on the moors, Bridge of Orkney or somewhere. Sheriff Angel, why don't you catch him? You wouldn't like me to be stuck in the back with a carving knife, would you?
Oh, it's no business of mine to catch him. You catch him, and I'll convict him.
Is there a reward?
Gracious, it's nearly 1 o'clock. Jim, we must get out of here. Professor wants his lunch.
There's no hurry, my dear. Still, if you must go.
Pat,
Ring for Captain Ogilvy's car, will you?
Yes, sir.
Sheriff, I'll take you with me. You have running for anything? You get good
Come
too.
take me out your car. Come and get another supper.
well, whenever you do catch him, you'll find me at the sheriff's court at 10 every morning, so bring him along.
Louisa, my dear, if you'll excuse us, Mr. Hammond and I want to have a chat before lunch. Now, Mr. Hannay, I suppose it's safe to call you by your real name now? What about our mutual friend, Annabella?
She's been murdered.
Murdered? Oh, the Portland Mansions affair. What our friends outside are looking for you for?
I didn't do it.
Of course you didn't. But why come all this way to Scotland to tell me about it?
I believe she was coming to see you about some air ministry secret. She was killed by a foreign agent who was interested too.
Did she tell you what the foreign agent looked like?
There wasn't time. No, there was one thing. Part of his little finger was missing.
Which one?
This one, I think.
Sure it wasn't this one?
Lunch is ready, dear.
I'm coming right away. Well, Mr. Hannay, I'm afraid I've been guilty of leading you down the garden path. Or should it be up? I never can remember.
It seems to be the wrong garden, all right. Well, what are we going to do about it?
That's just the point. What are we going to do about it? You see, I live here as a respectable citizen, and you must realize that my whole existence would be jeopardized if it became known that I'm not, what shall we say, not what I seem. Oh, Mr. Hannay, why have you come here? Why have you forced me into this difficult position? I can't lock you up in a room or anything like that. You see, there's my wife and daughters to think of. I don't know what to think. Really, I don't. What makes it doubly important that I shouldn't let you go is that I'm just about to convey some very vital information out of the country. Oh, yes, I've got it. I'm afraid poor Annabella would have been too late in any case.
Well, that's that.
Yes. And what about it?
What about what?
About yourself. Seems to me there's only one way out.
And what's that?
Supposing I left you alone with this revolver. Tomorrow's newspapers would be able to announce that the Portland Place murderer had taken his own life.
I thought you were coming to lunch directly, dear. We've all been waiting. Mr. Hammond be staying?
I don't think so, dear. Well, what do you think, Mr. Hannay? Well, I'm afraid you leave me no alternative.
I can't find my hymn book.
Where did you